Hello, dear students. Today I will tell you a math story on the power of exponential growth. Long ago in India, there lived a Raja who believed he was wise and fair, as a Raja should be. The people in his province were rice farmers. One day, the Raja announced that everyone must give nearly all of their rice to him. I will store the rice safely, the Raja promised the people, so that in times of famine everyone will have rice to eat and none will go hungry. Each year, the Raja's rice collectors gathered nearly all of the people's rice and carried it away to the royal storehouses. For many years, the rice grew well. The people gave nearly all of their rice to Raja. The storehouses were always full, but the people were left with very less amount of rice to feed themselves. Then one year the rice grew badly. There was famine and hunger. The people had no rice to give to Raja. They had no rice to eat. Then Raja's ministers asked Raja, "Let us open the royal storehouses and give the rice to the people as you promised." The Raja said, "No. How do I know that how long the famine will last? I must have the rice for myself. Promise or no promise, a Raja must not go hungry." The time went on and the people grew more and more hungry, but the Raja would not give out the rice. One day the Raja ordered a feast for himself and his courtiers. It seemed to him a Raja should feast now and then, even when there is famine. A servant led an elephant from royal storehouse of the palace, carrying 2 full baskets of rice. A village girl named Rilly saw that rice was falling from one of the baskets. Quickly she jumped up and walked along beside the elephant, catching the falling rice in her skirt. At the palace, the guard shouted, "Hold, thief, where are you going with that rice?" Rilly replied, "I am not a thief. The rice fell from one of the baskets and I am returning it now to the Raja." When the Raja heard of Rilly's good deed, he asked his ministers to bring her before him. Raja said, "I wish to reward you for returning what belongs to me. Ask me for anything and you shall have it." Rilly said, "I do not deserve any reward at all, but if you wish, you may give me 1 grain of rice, only 1 grain of rice." Raja said, "Only 1 grain of rice? Surely you will allow me to reward more plentifully, as Raja should." Rilly said happily, "Okay, my lord, you may reward me in this way, that today you will give me a single grain of rice. Then each day for 30 days you will give me double the rice you gave me the day before. Thus tomorrow you will give me 2 grains of rice, the next day 4 grains of rice, and so on for 30 days. Raja said, "This seems to be a modest reward, but you shall have it." Rilly was presented with a single grain of rice. The next day Rilly was presented with 2 grains of rice, and the following day Rilly was presented with 4 grains of rice. On the 9th day, Riley was presented with 256 grains of rice. The king thought about Riley that the girl is honest but not very clever. She would have more rice by keeping what fell into her skirt. On the 12th day, Riley received 2048 grains of rice. On the 13th day, Riley received 4096 grains of rice. On the 16th day, Riley was presented with a bag containing 32,768 grains of rice. Raja now thought that this doubling up adds to more rice than I expected, but surely her reward will not amount to much more. On the 21st day, Riley was presented with 1,048,576 grains of rice. On the 24th day, she was presented with 8,388,608 grains of rice. On the 27th day, she was presented with 67,108,864 grains of rice. Now the Raja was deeply troubled and thought that 1 grain of rice has grown great, very great indeed. But I shall fulfill the reward to the end, as the Raja should. On the 30th day, Riley was presented with 536,870,912 grains of rice. The Raja had no more rice to give. He asked Riley that, "What will you do with this rice?" "Now that I have none," Riley said, "I shall give it to all the hungry people. I shall leave a basket of rice for you too, if you promise from now on to take only as much rice as you need." Raja said, "I promise." For the rest of his days, Raja was truly wise and fair, as the Raja should be. Thank you. I hope you liked the story.